This video is a collaboration with Banggood.com. Here we have two earbuds from the same company at the same price, but different specs. Which one should you choose? Now this is the Lenovo LP1, better known as the Lenovo LivePods, and this one is the Lenovo XT90. Now the Lenovo LivePods usually cost $34, but on Banggood.com you could get them for as low as $17, while the XT90, which usually costs $30, is discounted to $17 as well, making these two exactly the same price. So which one should you buy? Well, first off, the XT90 is much more newer than the LivePods, only going on sale starting November 2020, while the LivePods have been a popular choice for over 4 months. This may be a good or bad thing. Being newer means that it has more upgraded features, while being older means that it has been tried and tested to be more reliable and probably have less issues. Today we'll see how these two compare with each other. Okay, so we will unbox these two first to see the content and see how they compare with each other. I'm going to open the LivePods first just because it's the older one and we'll have something to compare against. Okay, so here are the earbuds. Right here, we're going to take that out. On the little side compartment, there is a USB to USB-C cable, a little instruction manual, and a set of ear tips. One set of ear tips. It's not that bad, but I've been opening AirPods replicas these days. It's a little underwhelming, to be honest. Now the XT90 is significantly bigger than the LivePods box, even has a little rubber thing on the top for connecting for display purposes. We'll see why it's so bigger in a second. Pretty similar stuff right here. We have an instruction manual, the earbuds inside a little plastic baggie. Oh gosh. And a little box containing another USB to USB-C cable and this time we have 2 sets of ear tips. Oh, okay, that's a significant upgrade. The Lenovo LivePods seem to only have a small option besides the default one, while this one seems to have a small and a large option as well. Now the XT90s had an empty battery upon arrival, so while it charges on the charger over there, let's inspect the contents here. Now the LivePods have a very long horizontal manual that's in Chinese on one side and English on the other, and the XT90 has an even more detailed manual that's also in 2 languages. You know, I've noticed a lot of typos on these manuals, and it doesn't look too good coming from a company that's worth $50 billion. Someone from Lenovo, if you're watching this, drop me a note and I can help make the translation better. Very good service. Very cheap. I could even translate it to Korean if you want. Okay, I've tested out both the earbuds for a few days, so let's get to that now. They both come in a little plastic baggie, and right off the bat, we could see that the Lenovo LivePods are a little bit bigger than the XT90. Now if you look at the back, the LivePods has a little sticker detailing the specifications of the earbuds that we can take off, while the XT90 has it printed directly on the bottom of the case itself. This might put off some people from choosing this one. Also, the LivePods are a bit squared off on the side, while the XT90 has a pretty rounded edge, making it more difficult to stand up by itself. Just a little side note. Now if we open them up, we could see that the hinges are a little flimsy. AirPod Pros have a sort of reverse magnet that holds up the lid and prevents it from closing by itself, while these don't have anything of the sort. Makes a little sound when you touch them. And it doesn't keep the lid open when you tilt it to the side. I don't know why, maybe it's just me, but the LivePods are much easier to hold and keep open than the XT90. I find that the rounded design makes it much more difficult to use and open with one hand. Case-wise, I think the LivePods are the winner here. It honestly looks a lot better too. Now, quick note, I bought the white and black color for the LivePods because the white and white was out of stock. But there's a lot more color options you can choose from, like white gray, white red, full white, full black, and even full green, which gives you 6 different color choices, unlike the XT90, which only has white and black. So the LivePods definitely win on that section as well. Now if you compare the XT90s to the AirPod Pros, you could see that on the XT90, the earbuds are put very deeply inside the case. So while it's very easy to take a pod out on the AirPods, you can't do the same with the XT90. I'm actually trying here. You can't take it out with one hand. What's more, the stem is in the shape of a rectangle, so when you're taking it out, if you twist it toward yourself, the stem gets caught in the case and refuses to come out. This isn't an issue with the LivePods. Since the stem is in a round shape, you could turn the earbud while taking it out and it won't interfere with the case at all. Connecting these to a phone is very easy. Instead of being activated by the lid like AirPods, these are activated when you take the pods out of the case. You just select it in the Bluetooth settings and that's it, like any other Bluetooth earbud. Both earbuds offer a bunch of functions like pause music, skip, or go back to different music tracks, and even changing the volume. Pausing and playing music is, obviously, a single press on the touch sensor. Skipping between tracks is the same, a triple press on the sensor. Triple tapping the right earbud will bring you to the next track, while doing it on the left will skip to the previous track. Very handy. Now, changing the volume is a bit different on each. On the LivePods, pressing the sensor twice on the right will bring the volume up, and doing it on the left brings it down. But on the XT90, you need to long press the sensor for, and I quote, 1.5 seconds. And this is the confusing part. Long pressing the left earbud will bring the volume up, while the right earbud makes the volume go down. I have no idea why it's the opposite on these two. It doesn't seem very right to me. Now, long pressing the sensor on the LivePods will activate Siri or Google Assistant depending on what device you use, and double tapping the sensor on the XT90 will activate the assistant. It's the opposite of each other in almost every single way, so I don't recommend that you use these two together. It's very confusing. Now, viewers of this channel would already know how I test the battery life on these earbuds. I connect them to a phone and play music at medium-high volume until they run out of battery. Once they do, they disconnect from the phone and the music pauses at the exact time the battery ran out. The LivePods turned off after 3 hours and 11 minutes of usage and disconnected again immediately when I reconnected them. The XT90s turned off after 2 hours and 26 minutes, then worked for an additional 7 minutes before turning off, making the total usage time 2 hours and 33 minutes on medium to medium-high volume. Another pivotal function is the microphone. We'll compare the two earbuds and then to some other devices as well. So this is how my voice sounds like on the Lenovo LivePods. I have them in my ears and I'm speaking as loudly and clearly as I can. And this is how my voice sounds like on the Lenovo XT90. For comparison, this is how the same thing sounds like on the iPhone SE, and the Canon EOS 500D, and the Samsung Galaxy A30. As you can see, although the XT90 sounds a little bit better, they both sound horrible. Wireless earphones generally have bad microphones, and cheaper ones even more so. One thing that you must be careful about is that on some devices, these use the phone's microphone instead of itself. So if you put the phone in your pocket, the person on the other side of the phone call may actually hear nothing but rustling. So you gotta be really careful what microphone the device is actually using. And now the part you're all waiting for, audio quality. Now obviously I can't show you audio quality on a video, but I have tested out some pieces of music on these earbuds and I'll describe how they are to you. First we have the crisp drum beats and voices of Michael Jackson from Thriller. The LivePods do pretty well on this. I could hear every instrument, and I don't even need to put the volume to 70% for it to be satisfying and loud enough to drown out every outside noise. The XT90, underwhelming. The vocals are, how do I put it, piercing. It cuts into your ears. I mean, Michael Jackson's voice tends to do that, but in this case, it doesn't feel good at all. There's less deep sound getting in. The sound sounds a bit more tinny overall, and I greatly prefer the LivePods over this. Afterwards, I tested out a different type of music with Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees. An interesting thing is that on the Lenovo XT90, the vocals sound as loud as the instrumentals, but on the LivePods, the vocals are significantly quieter than the background instruments. I was stumped for a while, but then I figured out that the LivePods carry deeper sound much better than the XT90, so the high-pitched vocals were covered over by the instruments, while the XT90 basically ignored parts of the deeper instruments. And lastly, bass. Some people like it, some people don't care, but one thing I could say for sure is that the LivePods do a surprisingly nice job of carrying the bass to your ears. It's not, ear-rattlingly good, but it does a quite decent job for less than $20. And the XT90's
in terms of
bass,
we have no
bass. Yep, these completely lack any of the bass that it should have carried. It's actually almost impressive how it removed most of the bass and vibrations from the music. It's just so lacking in comparison to the LivePods. For voices, it both does quite fine. I mean, any type of Bluetooth earbud would be sufficient enough for a podcast or a lecture. However, one thing that I must talk about is that the LivePods are significantly louder than the XT90s. What sounded loud on 40% volume on the LivePods have to be cranked up to 70 or even 80% on the XT90 for it to be considered sufficient enough. This is quite annoying when you're listening to video or audio that's a little quieter than usual. Now, my ears are far from professional level, and applying an EQ would probably fix most of these issues, but I heard what I heard, and the results are as follows. The LivePods handle bass pretty well, while the XT90s almost completely remove it from the music. It also handles deep sounds badly, sometimes making voices sound tinny or cutting, unlike the LivePods that are good at mixing deep and high-pitched sounds together to go easier on your ears. Now here's the final comparison between these two earbuds. The LivePods have a lot of color choices, 6 actually, which is the most I've ever seen on any earbud. The case and pod design of the LivePods are much easier to hold, use, and operate than the XT90s. And in audio quality, the LivePods are the clear winner. Deep, soft, and loud, what else could you possibly need? It also seems to have longer battery life than the XT90s, lasting over 30 minutes longer. Well, but now even the LivePods aren't all good things. For example, it lacks a pair of large ear tips, only giving you a small and medium option. And when compared to the XT90s, the touch sensors are much slower and less responsive. The XT90s are definitely the winner on that part. All in all, these get a 4 out of 5 stars. Not bad, not amazing, but pretty great for the price. Now, the XT90s, despite my display of disgust for it, does have its perks. It, as I said, has 2 extra sets of ear tips. And as you may have seen in the video back there, the touch sensors are much quicker and responsive than the LivePods. Lenovo did do a really good job on that part. Unfortunately, the cons outweigh the pros in this case. The very limited color choice makes it less desirable for people who want different colors. The case and pod design is not user-friendly at all, and the audio quality is bearable, and that's putting it nicely. Not to mention the battery life. Seriously, 30 minutes less than the LivePods? These get a rating of 3 out of 5 stars, and I'm being pretty generous here. Lenovo did a really good job on the LivePods. It has more features than any other Bluetooth earbud I've ever tested, and has audio quality that's pretty good for the price. But the XT90, one thing I'd like to say is, Lenovo, please don't make anything based on just the design. A rounder, slimmer case may look better, but it was more slippery and hard to open, and the square stem on the pods look nicer, but are completely inconvenient to take out. That's it. The winner of this comparison is, by a long shot, the LivePods. As I said, for a limited time, both the earbuds are being discounted to $17, courtesy of Banggood, until December 31st, 2020. You could use the promo code on the screen and in the description below. If you have anything you'd like me to compare, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Who knows, maybe Banggood would be nice enough to sponsor me with more units for another video. I've been having a lot of things on my hands recently, but you could probably expect from now on to see more uploads than before. I've also been thinking of doing other types of videos, maybe food reviews or something of that sort, so let me know what you think about that as well. So thank you for watching this video. I'll meet you in the next one.